Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, The Shadow and the Blade. We have a lot of fighting to do this episode. I know that's pretty much what the thing has been every episode. Not a lot of economic development happening lately. But we have a couple of really big important battles here. So first of all, we gotta try to knock out Ubersreich. Secondly, Vomik needs to go defend Marienburg. I'm not 100% sure what the best way to do that is. It is worth noting that Karl Franz did take some damage. Like this army took some damage during that fight, and they're not in a position where it's easy for them to heal. They can't get back to friendly territory without crossing the river, which is non-trivial because it's a pretty big river. So we might be able to just like wear them down. I think what I'm going to do with Vomik is not move him into Marienburg because I don't want him to get sieged while he's in there. I'm going to sit next to Marienburg in ambush mode and see if Karl Franz just runs into me. Do I have anything I can... I do not. I do not have anything that I can instantly recruit. So we just have 2 empty slots in this army, which is pretty not ideal. And then we have a garrison of 10 horribly injured units in Marienburg itself. Yeah, this is not going to be an easy one. Who knows? We might be able to get there. Erat can reach. We may as well try to knock out the captain from this army, right? Maybe we'll get lucky and make this a little bit easier. Alright. Good work. We don't have to get that lucky with Erat. He's pretty good at his job. Absolutely immortality. Feeling much more secure there. Does Morlock, like, drop a plague in Altdorf? No, probably not. Let's continue scouting. This isn't really what he was summoned for, but now we have him. Just kind of curious what vector the rest of the enemies might be coming in from, because I believe it is still the case. Yeah, the Empire is way more powerful than we are. They have way, way, way more armies. I just have no idea where those armies are. Alright, I guess let's get down to this. Let's break up Ubersreich. And then Grunberg isn't even really defended. Then it'll just be a matter of getting a hold of Altdorf, and then we will control the Reichland, which will be good for us both economically, especially with the pasture here, and also, obviously, we have to do this to win. Alright, we are given absolutely no respect by the balance of power bar. Do I think we need to hang out and do another turn of building up? No, probably not. The troops they have on the wall are not going to be super good at defending the wall, except that, you know, the heroes. The heroes are going to be a problem. Well, I think let's commit. I don't think that building a second set of siege towers is going to make things all that much better for us. So let's just try to get this over with, and hopefully get ourselves a good fortified position going here in Reichland so that we are ready for the counterattack. So, we have to deal with a couple of types of hero units that we've not seen yet. The Fire Wizard is definitely a concern. Bright Wizards can do a lot of damage to massed up troops. They have, you know, big fireball spells, and the Flaming Skull, which he probably has access to, could be a real issue for us. I think I'm happy with those units being the ones in the siege towers. Probably we want to move this whole assembly over to the other side of the map, though. Just so that the reinforcements aren't coming in right on top of us, and give them a chance to not die horribly. Okay, so you are going to be like right here. We're just going to dock the siege towers on either side of this gate. That's the plan. And then the rest of the clan rats can be right up here. You guys with the ability to deploy outside the normal deployment zone should deploy forward outside of tower range as best you can. Siege stuff on this side as well. And then there's a pretty good chance that a lot of the siege weapon fire is going to be focused on the towers for the moment, so we don't have to be quite as careful with our people advancing on the wall as we often are. Also, it would be good. Why can I not get these units to place? Hey, put the units down. It's so finicky sometimes, especially when you're near the wall. Alright, we just want to be a little bit careful. Nope, that's not who I was trying to click on. Okay. Trying to be a little bit careful because we know they have a mortar. You know, dangerous to group up too much. So you guys are going for right there. You guys are going for right there. And everybody else just kind of... You know what? Everybody else, stay put for a minute. Because we need to let the towers get some forward distance here. And then I'm going to tell all of you guys to move up, and we'll figure out exactly where you want to stop later. Looks like they're not actually even taking control of this tower, which is some wild decision-making on their part. Oh, I'm supposed to hit unlimited power first. Oops. Oh well, whatever. Yeah, if they're not gonna even bother to defend here, let's just set up and start doing some damage. Yeah, you can see all of the tower fire going into the siege tower. A single tower should not be able to put anywhere near enough damage up to actually be a danger to our ability to make it. Right, I'm gonna have people start moving up. We don't need to maintain this fire. We're not being very ammo efficient at the moment. Alright, there we go. This is what you want to be shooting at guys on a wall with. That, and of course, the warp lightning. Yeah, that is mighty effective. There's that big flaming skull that I was worried about. Fortunately, they've done a terrible job of casting it. Alright, so we can send other units up into the siege tower, and the siege tower has an elevator inside that will allow them to get up on the wall without having to do the climbing the wall action, which means they will not lose all of their vigor. This is a big deal. It matters a lot, because your level of tiredness has a huge effect on how well you fight. I am pleased to see that they have, in fact... Wow, really? We destroyed the gates already. They put their fire wizard up on the wall. If only we could get our assassin up here quickly enough, we could probably make some really cool stuff happen as a result of that. Oh yeah, also, at this point, these guys are mostly in, so let's get on this. What is my plan here? I mean, we can just flood the streets and head toward their city center. I think that probably works out just fine. So why don't we have you two units just climb the wall and everybody else kind of just get up here. We'll figure it all out later. As it stands right now, it looks like it might only even be one unit that has to climb the wall. It looks like they're not going to try to stop me at all. Alright, back to it, everyone. Where is Ikit? He could come forward a little bit. We could maybe put him up on the thing. They have the same problem that I have, where if you cast magic like that near a wall, it just bounces off and does unpredictable things sometimes. Interesting that they seem to have run... This is the Bright Wizard right here. The rightmost of their two flags there. Really, really weird decision-making on their part to move him up into melee. I'm not really sure what that's about. Some Bright Wizards do get a... You've seen, like, the random traits that are generated when we hire in a new lord. Heroes get those too. And there is a Bright Wizard trait that encourages melee combat, so I'm guessing that he must have that. It's not really working out for him, it doesn't look like. So yeah, unfortunately their heroes are doing fine work here. They're about to be very dense right there, so let's fix that problem. Looks like they're casting the flaming skull just to deal damage to Ikit, which is not a good use of Winds of Magic. I'm a little leery about casting this up here. I'm concerned I'm going to do too much damage to my own guys. Okay, they've moved some units in. That being the case, we probably want to put Night Runners up on more sections of the wall. We'll just have all of the ranged units get up on the wall. I was really hoping they were going to just let me jump over, take over the gatehouse, and then let my dudes through, but no such luck apparently. They've got a pretty significant portion of their force at this point between the two areas committed to direct defense of the wall. Actually, hold on, now that I'm thinking about that, what do they have inside? Outriders, which are ranged cavalry. I think we can maybe get the our three sort of cavalry units in here through the gate, because they moved everybody off of the ground, right? Well, there's this unit of halberds that's still getting up onto the wall. It's not actually committed yet, but they're doing it. They're going. So let's get up here and make this really awkward. You know how I love it when things are really awkward. I don't know that we actually need another one of these, but let's try to break down some more of these units. Apparently Ikit Claw is out of ammunition. I'm kind of curious if they will let me just run my Doom Wheels over to the mortar. Actually, you know what? Come down this way. I think these things should be more than a match for the Outriders. Especially since the Outriders are sort of cornered. They don't really have any melee capability. If we're able to stick a charge on them, they're just in really rough shape. And if we can break them down, then it's a pretty straight shot to the town center, and then they have to really realign their thinking at that point. Okay, so we're getting our ranged units up onto the walls. Let's push the other sides of the thing a little bit, like all the way to the outsides. And you have this, and also that. Oh wait, hold on. Can I? There we go. Okay. Sometimes you have to cast a different. Tell him to cast a different spell to reset a spellcasting order. I actually wanted to focus over here, but as soon as you start casting this, the button becomes unclickable. So I had to do sort of a roundabout way of reassigning him there. Alright, that was quite a lot of kills for the amount of wins that we spent on it. Yep, the Outriders are breaking. I mean, they're just riflemen on horseback. You know, they're not prepared to deal with a wheel that's just blades. It's a hell of a design. I don't know what all these guys are. Apparently, there's a unit of Clan Rat shields in here. Oh, those guys are broken from the wall, I see. Alright, and that's a great place to break an enemy unit, because they run off the map immediately. Alright, let's get the Eshin dudes up here, because it looks like we're going to need some help on this side. You have finally managed to make it up onto the wall. I need you to kill that Bright Wizard. We're going to debuff the Empire General, kill the Bright Wizard, and then we're going to kill the Empire General, obviously. And their other Empire Captain guy is already pretty much defeated. Okay, we're breaking these guys down. Who are you? You're the Waystalker. That's the elf. Interesting that she hasn't turned around. Like, she's not attacking us. There we go. Alright. Killed them off real fast. I'm gonna have the Doom Wheel just try to grab her. Alright, units up on the wall, converge inward. Honestly, the Night Runners are remarkably good at holding their own for a while in melee. Okay, you guys can probably help out with that. Do you forget what he was doing? Oh, he's harassing random units from that that group of pistoliers. Well, somebody's got to stay in the middle to finish capping the point, so I guess that's the Doom Wheel. I trust the flares to get the job done. Alright, can you catch that Thane with your Warp Lightning? It looks like over here, Pestilence. You know, there was a time when I feel like you would get notifications when enemy characters got killed. I guess maybe it was only Everlords. Alright, once again, let's Assassin's Trophy this dude. I think we probably have the wall over here. The Ubersreich 5 have been giving it their absolute best, but it's just not going to be good enough. Pestilence is too developed. He's too good at his job. I don't know what these guys think they're doing, but this is not going to turn out the way they were hoping. Look at that. Look at that terrifying war machine that is not at all silly. Not even the least bit silly. That guy too. Get him. Yep. poor planning there on his part. Really made a huge error in judgment. Alright, Pestilence is absolutely killing it, as he is known to do. Permanent breakage. Oh, are they surrendering? I mean, I guess we've killed a lot of their important units at this point. Well, that's really embarrassing. Franz Loner is going to be furious with them. We didn't really even lose as many units from Bilefitch's army as I was figuring we would. That went very, very smoothly. That mortar got 255 kills, which I guess is to be expected. But I kind of can't believe how hard they committed to the wall. It's entirely possible that us being able to get the wheels through the gate was entirely due to Bilefitch stab, because otherwise they probably would have had all of those units over on the same part of the wall. Alright, well, obviously occupy that. Hey, 500 gold, look at that. It's like Christmas morning.
Warlock, master of Scryer.
And I don't know what I want you to do now. If I put you back in March mode, I guess I can make you get all the way back to Isleheart? Maybe that's a good idea. Not for defense of Isleheart necessarily, but because sitting in a friendly settlement will get us a lot more replenishment. I could really use the replenishment. And it's not even that much more. Alright, so that's under control. And then, oh yeah, we have money. We should do stuff with our money. Upgrading Castle Artois does seem worthwhile. Okay, walls are already building over here. Where do we still not have walls? And could we have them? Alright. Upgrading Castle Artois can wait, because I want to get proper defensive structures up everywhere that we can. And then probably we want to go ahead and throw up a hunting camp here. We have a fair number of trade agreements. Trade goods are reasonably valuable. Speaking of trade agreements, is there anybody who would like to trade with me that we're not currently trading with? We might be able to get one going with Harganeth. Yeah, look at that. Some military access too. I don't know that we need any alliances or anything. You know what? Their likelihood of accepting was high there. I might have been able to wrangle some gold from them. I should have tried. It looks like everybody else who is likely to trade with us is already doing it. So we are now at 2,400 gold per turn from trade. That is not insignificant. Obviously, taxing our large and impressive territory is still by a large margin the greatest part of our money, but we're doing well elsewhere. Okay, Bilefitch is almost level 12. We're going to upgrade this workshop someday. It is totally going to happen. Oh, also we got a 4th point of warp fuel there. I should have spent at the workshop, because now we're going to be out of food. Not that I think we're unlikely to get more food, right? I think that's pretty obvious that that will happen regularly. I'm still not interested in doing that. I wonder if there's a spot on my ambush. My ambush was spoiled. We probably do not want to just take these guys in a fair fight, although I also probably can't move far enough away to get out of the fight, can I? Well, if I fall back here, I'll fall back toward Eilhart. I might end up in range of Eilhart. Oh, never mind. You don't fall back anywhere near far enough for that. But interestingly, he does not attempt to follow up. Alright, there's no sense in fighting this. With those units that damaged, there's nothing we could have done to them. Once again, he refuses to claim it. He refused to claim it so that he could attack me again. I'm not sure that the way he's doing this makes a lot of sense. Alright, well, our ambush being spoiled when we're supposed to be so good at ambushing people does really suck. We're going to lose most of our food at the beginning. I might just commit as much food as I can here. I mean, let's try at least, right? I don't think we have any way of winning this battle. I think we're going to lose a whole army here. Fortunately, all of the characters in this army are immortal. They will come back. Most of the good units in this army are actually regiments of renown, so they will also come back. We'll probably lose 2 high-tier catapults, but in the long term, this is not a big loss. It is definitely a bummer in the short term. But we should, I think we should be able to do some really good damage to them, somewhat dependent on the terrain. They have reinforcements coming in, but the reinforcements are almost entirely irrelevant. Tiny, tiny group of units. So we could set up way in the corner here and make them come up the hillside at us, but with the unit of Jezzails, I think probably just fighting in the flat land down here is the smartest move. So, catapults. Yep, able to fire pretty deep into their setup zone. Is that good enough? We should probably have the Jezzails start a little bit further, maybe even a little bit further forward than that. Yeah, that'll give us some opening fire. And then we'll go like rattling guns. A little bit further forward on each side. Obviously, they'll have to wait for things to actually commit. And then it's just like units that are ready to fight, stand nearby and be ready to fight. We don't want to put the melee in front of the ranged here, I don't think. Because the enemy is pretty ranged heavy. If we put our melee up in front of the ranged, their melee or their range just moves into just barely shooting range on our guys, and then shoots them, and we would have to move our range forward to counterattack, or it's just not a useful thing to do. I'm going to pull these guys out to the side here. They're fast. They can come participate in the battle when it makes sense to do so. And you should hang out right here in a position, yeah, there we go, where your aura can affect all of the ranged weapons, because that's what we're going to need. What is the range? The range on the mortar thing's not super short. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, I think we're ready. As ready as we're getting. And you know what? If I see an opportunity to use this Doom Rocket in a way that will really get the job done, I'm just gonna do it. If we could keep this army alive, it would be huge. Did you guys? Oh, I see. I was gonna say, did my army forget how to fire or something? But the enemy started way far back in their zone so that they could meet up with the reinforcement army immediately. That makes sense. That's a totally reasonable play. I don't think we want to do anything other than just wait. I'm going to fast forward until they approach range. They could try to fan out around the range of our siege units. Obviously, they can see what we have available. But I'm not too concerned about it. They have one siege weapon of their own. I'm definitely going to try to disrupt their firing time here, even though these guys will definitely just get turned on. Just try to buy us some time here. Part of the reason we're seeing the rats break as quickly as we are seeing them break is because being super low on food the way we are does impose a leadership penalty. We sure do have a range advantage, huh? This is... what a difficult approach. Alright, how's their crew doing? Looks like we managed to push them off of the cannons, and then they forgot to get back on them. Can't necessarily assume that that will remain the case, but that's a pretty damn good outcome. You should back up a little bit. Well, be behind the guns at least. But yeah, pretty good start. So they have 1 unit of actual charging lances. So they're going to use to try to get to the catapults, I assume. And then over here they have 2 units of Reichsguard. Which, again, pretty good chance they're going to use those to go straight for the catapults. Just try to stay aware of them. Alright, we have a Warlock Engineer. First of all, should be hitting ballistics calibration. Totally spacing on my job here. But secondly, we have spells, and they should be cast. I'm not sure. Those guys are not going to be easy to hit with anything. You don't really know what the right spell... I guess a Crack's Call? Or maybe a Flensing Ruin. It does damage, but it also reduces their armor, so probably we should wait on Flensing Ruin until they get a little closer. I guess I can just drop a Doom Rocket on somebody. Who's the most annoying enemy unit here? Honestly, if we just break up their melee, make it hard for them to be able to actually push our line, our ranged kicks the hell out of their ranged. Looks like they're feeling strong. They're just going to charge the charge our guys directly. It's an interesting maneuver. I don't think it's a good idea. Their general has lost his damn mind. Well, now he's lost his damn head as well. I think we're going to need you guys over here. We use some summoned troops to try to pin these horses in place until the storm vermin can get in. I don't know if I think that was a good idea. Karl Franz riding directly into my assassin. There are a lot of places where he could have exerted some force that are much more likely to work out in his favor. We have a lot of units up here who are not really melee combatants. It's just real bad play on his part. So the storm vermin are coming in as fast as they can. We should have the death runners move up to... Yeah, they really don't have a lot of melee left, right? So we can be... We gotta watch out basically just for this unit of spears. Yeah, this is the only melee units left on this front. That's really great for us, actually. I wonder if we're gonna be totally fine here, maybe. We're definitely not spending the Doom Rocket the way things look right now. No, I'm gonna have the Death Runners get in here. Death Runners plus Assassins will probably be pretty hard for Karl Franz to deal with. And I'm going to have the Jezzails fall back, because it looks like they're getting confused and trying to go into melee. Guys, grab those spears. And now their ranged units are stopping to engage in standing fire, which means that we can probably get an awful lot of kills real fast here. These guys are doing good work. Breaking down their cavalry units with all of our spears. We are a very spear-heavy force. The Halberd Storm Vermin should be able to get an awful lot of kills here. I'm a little worried about how much they're going to be able to, how much damage they're going to be able to do to us in the interim. Some of my units decided that Karl Franz is no longer a fun guy to fight. Oh, don't know that I understand the thinking on that one. But I do need you guys to get the hell in there and do damage to him. Oh, right, you think of yourself as a ranged unit. That's your problem. You didn't want to stay in melee with him. Can we... Yes, we do in fact have Death Frenzy. I'm gonna make sure that those guys get frenzied up. Looks like their ranged units are just about done for. And their cavalry units are... I mean, they're dying, but they could be dying faster. Okay, we're getting pretty close. Those guys. Those guys are your new target. I can't believe, with how much they're able to, like, evade me with their cavalry units, I can't believe they haven't been more successful in attacking the siege units. There's just some really... I think that they had a huge compositional advantage in this battle, and they've made some truly horrible decisions. Strategically, very, very weak play. Those guys eventually went back for the cannons. Not allowed. Yeah, I can't. I kind of can't believe they found a way to lose that one so badly. Get him! Don't let Carl Franz escape! It's a shame he's a flying unit, otherwise my assassin could... Oh yeah, if I turn off melee mode, my assassin can keep chasing. Come on, you guys can finish him off. There's so much gunfire and he has so little health. There we go. Oof, that looked like it really hurt. I mean, he was probably dead before he hit the ground. Which I guess is some kind of comfort. Yeah, that went better than I thought it was going to go. For sure. Did we... We maybe only lost one unit there? This unit of clan rats looks like it. Technically, there were some guys alive, but that's a level of overall health where usually the army will be, or the unit will be wiped out. And we get the trait for defeating Karl Franz. I'm not sure what that even is. It's probably a good one. Well, let's definitely just convert them into food. Could always use more food and leadership. Yeah, that's real bad for them. Like, really, really bad. We got a Talisman of Preservation off of that. That's just a flat 20% damage reduction. That's a really, really good talisman. Looks like our allies are doing some fine work in the area.
Good. Kill device.
The Isle of Wights is pretty funny. A non-aggression pact with Talsin. You know what? Yes. Right now I am all about focusing on the Empire. And I think you can help us with that. That he is in position to do some work. You would not think that a Skaven game would come down to working together with allies to conquer common foes, but it seems like that is exactly where this is going. Also, that's a huge number of Bretonnian ships. There are so many things happening in so many places in the world that we just have, like, no idea about. Okay, one more thing I do want to call out here. It took a wealth of 25 gold with them when they re-sacked Marienburg. We finished record effective recipes. Unfortunately, Vomik has been the target of successful assaults and stuff so many times that that now he is more likely to fall prey to them. Vomik causes terror when fighting against the Empire. So that means enemy units that are involved in melee with Vomik will be so afraid of him that they will sometimes suffer spontaneous morale breaks where they'll just like run away for a couple of seconds. Honestly, it's fine. It's not a great trait. Okay, lots of stuff's going on here, but I do want to point out this is happening. So, Grungzint hit negative 100 public order, and so a rebel army spawned. The fact that that rebel army is Skaven tells us that the reason that they hit negative 100 public order is because of all the Skaven corruption that we're spreading in. You can see we're up to 33%. If they lose Grungzint, they're in real rough shape because there's also a bunch of Norscan armies bearing down on Arno. It may well be the case that Bretonnia or Couronne is wiped out of the game without us having to touch them again. Sure would be convenient. And yes, we did in fact lose that unit of clan rats. Alright, let's finish getting Deadeye. What do you think? What are your odds of taking care of this guy even though you're tired? Honestly, not that bad. I'm going to go for it. I'll take essentially a free shot at a 1 in 3. Biofetch Stab is doing remarkably well. He's actually going to have Arcane Conduit pretty soon. Also, Pestilich. Boy. I guess we finished fleet-footed. He's really working out, though, huh? He's doing some fantastic work. Alright, so we're going to grab Plans Within Plans, which adds another Clan Rat unit to the army spawn from the Vermintide building. So, we have... I don't even know what the base for that is, but we have, on top of whatever the base is, a bunch of bonus... I don't even remember where they all are. We have a bunch of bonus Clan Rat units spawning in. I'm sure once we get ultimate experiments, that army is going to spawn as like a dozen vermin, a dozen storm vermin units, and it sure will be really good. Unfortunately, it seems like it's probably going to be too late to mean very much against the Empire. Alright, so Marienburg is pretty safe then. It looks like Gorsel is probably under control, but we could run up and grab it for ourselves just to try to have more stuff in the Marienburg province. I think that might be a good idea, and Gorsel should be a very, very easy fight. An unwalled settlement with only 7 units in the garrison. We can probably just auto-resolve this. Yeah, very, very easily. Let's take that over. So what does Gorsel look like right now? Oh yeah, we do have to repair the buildings because they got resacked. Is that what I want here? I think I'm going to replace this with a growth/casualty replenishment rate building. I really, really like the casualty replenishment while you're at war, and then obviously also the growth while you're at peace. It's just a very good line of buildings. So where do we think Empire reinforcements might come in from? Maybe the northeast? But even if they did that, they would probably come in along the road, right? Let's have a look up here. The thing is, we still don't know where the Empire's territory, where all of it actually is. This whole part of the map here is stuff that belongs to a bunch of minor Empire factions at the beginning of the game. And you can see some of those factions, like Middenland, still exist. The Empire has land all the way up to here. How many settlements do they have in total? 19. 19 remaining. So yeah, some portion of what is in the mist here still must belong to them, because 19 is an awful lot. Okay, this seems like the time when we can afford to do this thing. Aquitaine has walls. Brion has walls. We're getting fairly secure here. So Montfort is really the only other place that we need to keep pushing here. Pretty soon, all of our territory. Well, I guess there's Carrick Ziflin too. Whatever. We'll deal with it next turn. Right now, build me some very cheap money-making buildings. Alright, and before we hit end turn, we definitely want to spend. Do we want to buy another Doom Rocket? Or do we want to do some more like Doom Flare or maybe even Doom Wheel upgrades? If we took Doom Diagnostics, we would also get a pretty decent bit of armor for a hero. Eventually there's a weapon and then a different weapon. Sundering attacks permanently lower. Maybe not permanently, but they lower the armor of the unit that they're used on. So it's a little bit better than armor piercing because it effectively makes all of your units armor piercing against those guys. And then that's an interesting piece of gear. Minus 12 melee attack is going to lower your damage output pretty significantly. I'm not sure exactly how much it will be offset by the weapon strength boost. And then unfortunately it just takes a really, really long time. It's a lot of upgrades before we get up to here. I'm going to just build another Doom Rocket, I think. I do so love a Doom Rocket. And then do we have Ikitclaw and Bilefitch start moving toward Altdorf? I guess actually, you know what I want to do? I want to take Grunberg. It's easy enough to get. But I might chill for a turn. I think I want to finish replenishing here. So you're good where you are. Your units aren't good enough to be worth worrying about whether or not they're replenished all the way. Okay, I think we are... Yeah, we're done with this turn. Also, Gorsel has salt, which is a trade good that I think we maybe didn't have yet, so that'll be valuable. The Wasteland's a little bit of a tricky province, strategically speaking. Marienburg is incredibly valuable. But the other two settlements in the Marienburg region are here and up there, like way up here. And it can actually be very difficult to defend them all. Okay, I did not see this coming. This army just came out of absolutely nowhere, huh? Well, they don't actually have a lot in the way of dangerous units. There's a lot of siege stuff in this army, including a Hellblaster war wagon. Well, we don't really have much choice, do we? The most dangerous thing here is that Bilefitch Stab could be killed in this battle, which would be a real problem for our workshop development. But we cannot choose not to fight. It's a settlement battle. So, how are we going to survive this? Again, Doom Rockets available. We absolutely can Doom Rocket them. And we're going to end up with a lot of bodies in total, but most of those bodies are going to be pretty crummy. That said, the enemy force is very, very largely ranged. So how do we want to take advantage of all of our reinforcements? Because obviously the enemy has a siege advantage on us. Yeah. Hellstorm rocket batteries, 3 of them. Plus this, plus the War Wagon Hellstorms. The range on these is very impressive. Alright, let's grab the forward deploy units. Maybe also my assassin? Yeah. I'm going to leave the Eshin Triads back because I think we're going to need them to fight the enemy melee. But since we only have 1 catapult, I'm thinking maybe what we do is start way back up here. I want to try to draw them forward and apart. So yeah, I'm just going to put us way, way, way in the back corner. Make it so the enemy definitely does not have attack range on us without moving up. And then we'll try to catch them moving. Use Menace Below, the single Menace Below charge we have to disrupt their units and stuff. I don't know what chance we have here. It feels like we probably are going to lose this one. Just based on the number of enemies that we're being put up against and everything. You guys are stubborn and terrible. I'm going to set the Eshin Triads out to the side like this a little bit. Remember that they are not visible at first. My hope is to catch the enemy moving in a way that is not safe because they do not know where all my units are. In fact, maybe I'm better off putting them over here or something. Yeah, I don't hate that. An Ikit Claw needs to go down here, and these guys, I'm a little unsure what to do with them. Ordinarily, I would try to flank and destroy the siege weapons, but with the reinforcement army, these guys are going to have so many guns that it might be really dangerous. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to be very, very careful how we approach. Oh, I guess, actually, I was thinking that we could at least threaten them and try to disrupt their movement a little bit. We do have to be careful giving them something to shoot at, because I don't want their siege weapons to stop moving forward. Mortars will attempt to... Mortars and siege weapons in general will attempt to lead their targets, but obviously they can't compensate for you turning after they've already left the launcher. Alright, some good work there from the volley gun, or from the lightning gun. Now remember, we only have 1 unit of summoned clan rats here, so we got to be very cautious. I do not want to just use them to try to buy time. I didn't realize he'd become visible from such a long distance. We can... Yeah, we can use a concealment bomb here. Try to be a little bit more cautious. I think you guys are having the wrong effect. As much as I really want to try to get around for a charge. I mean, I guess some of the enemy units are just moving forward. Maybe what we should do is this instead. If they're just going to stop and shoot at me anyway, maybe I threaten the rest of the enemy units. Horses have a real tough time against the Warp Lightning, so that's going super well for us. We actually are getting a little bit of advantage out of their siege weapons not moving forward in time. Oh, they have vision there, do they? Color me surprised. Well, again, it's splitting their army up. It's allowing me to fight some of them without a lot of risk. Boy, the dudes are just visible from a million miles away. Must be tough for them to re-stealth, I guess. Alright, so they're casting some annoying spells here. Yeah, I kind of expected that after our previously hidden units got out of enemy vision, they would just be hidden again. Apparently not actually the way it works. Because we're way outside any enemy's visual range at this point. But again, they're letting me at least do this. I don't really want to Doom Rocket like just a couple of siege weapon crews. Not when I'm probably going to need the Doom Rocket to thin out the enemy range in a serious way in the near future. Alright. Well, that's really annoying. Okay, and apparently they're close enough now to be able to shoot at the rest of our units. Pretty torn about whether or not it would be a good time to summon the one unit of rats. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Summon them right here and try to have them engage with both of the siege weapon crews at the same time. And these guys are definitely more important though, and they managed to separate enough that that's looking pretty non-viable. Yeah, you guys are you're just gonna run off the map and we all know it. Okay. Weapons crews. Let's kill that wizard, shall we? I think we collapse in on these guys now. Everybody move up. So that is their Huntsman General. That guy's a pretty good ranged combatant, actually. This is definitely the time to bring up the flamethrowers, and I don't think I want to move all of the clan rats up necessarily just yet. Because I want to make sure that our gunners still have clean paths to shoot in. You know what? I'll Warp Gale. Let's make sure that guy doesn't go anywhere. Okay, caught him. That should be enough time to get that job done, yeah? That done. You guys have done some pretty good damage there. So our man is still hidden, thanks to the trees. Let's see if we can get him to sneak up on the enemy Hellblasters. I don't think that it's generally a good idea to try to fight the War Wagon units with just like random melee, but the assassin should be able to handle it. I would think that he would have enough armor piercing and everything to make that work. And we may as well do this right now. Let's put that one little bit of resources up into the charge here. So I want to let the Hellblaster volley gun kind of pull into position and think that it's safe to fire. Alright, the Huntsmaster General is in grim shape here. And my plan with these guys is to charge straight through and hit the siege weapon crews. Basically just like wall up that guy once and keep moving. We can probably do some pretty good damage to these siege weapon crews before they have the opportunity to fall back into their other friendly units. At least I hope so. Stop him. Don't let him keep advancing. You guys in general just need to fan out a little bit. Don't stand here all grouped up like this. Ikit Claw probably doesn't want to commit anything major just yet. This is exactly the kind of time when you should make your feelings known. In fact, let's get that movement speed up as well. I don't know that we have a lot of play available here as far as keeping those guys in place, though. You try to turn the Warp Lightning cannons on them. Does the terrain support that? Ooh, not really. Yeah, the hill's awkward. If I tell them to do that, they're just gonna move forward a whole bunch, and I don't really need that right now. So I think we're just gonna have to hope that they don't run away immediately. Okay, well, cavalry's starting to take fire from the war engines, which is probably okay. Oh, you can't do this on them. Never mind. All right, that was a good initial charge. Keep moving. Some of the flares have gotten hung up. Oh, looks like I'm not actually going to make the full charge in time. We can harass some of these guys out. Those guys, for some reason, are just walking right now. So that's going to work out probably pretty poorly for them. Alright, yeah, all you need to do is break their resolve and keep moving. I think I might want a Doom Rocket now. It's hard to know exactly how all of this stuff is going to move, but like, look at how grouped up they are. I'm going to do it right here. Last time we led by too much. I'm going to do it right here. It looks to me like that's going to get quite a lot of kills. We need to pull out all the stops if we want to have any chance of this army surviving. And I do want to have any chance of this army surviving. These guys have run in such a way that they are, oh yeah, so much more shootable. That is absolutely your focus. See if those guys can catch up. A lot depends on how that particular unit of enemies decides to move. Stay on Albert, and yeah, I think we're just continuing for the moment to micro our dudes over here. I'm going to go ahead and use the Wand of Jet, because I don't think we're going to need his abilities anytime in the next 30 seconds. Come on, quickly, quickly, before the guns really get in. That was an okay Doom Rocket. Okay. Now fall back. Escape. Charge this dude again on the way out. Oh no, never mind. Charge those dudes again on the way out. Oh my god, they're stuck in the trees. Oh, it's a massacre. It's turned into a real quagmire. Just get out of there. Just get out of there. We did accidentally charge their lord. Get involved in that. So... did the Doom Wheel die? Yeah, it did. Okay, the flares are all still alive, although some of them are at pretty low health. But we do still have all 8 of them intact. That's another piece of siege equipment, probably permanently dead. So this is where the hard part starts, right? Because now it's going to start just looking a little bit more like a traditional battle. And we have to deal with the fact that they have a vastly superior siege corps. Get out of there. Come invisible and run away. We'll have the Doom Flayers, like, wrap around. Okay, we need some of you units to back the hell up. And by some of you units, I mean definitely everybody. Get the hell out of there. Who is that? What are we fighting? Unit of Great Swords? Yeah, back the hell up. Like, way back. Some units that were retreating that have sort of recovered themselves. You guys can set up over here and fire into the backsides of those dudes. And we can have people continue fighting the Great Swords. I just want these units to rotate out. Alright, yeah, but Naked Claw is ready for trouble again. We're getting pretty close to actually wanting to cast some spells on the approaching enemies, but I don't think we're quite there yet. Those concealment bombs have been actually, like, very useful so far. You guys can run. You don't have to stay up there. Alright, the catapults probably don't need to be focused on... Oh. That was their last shot. They are now out of ammunition. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's going to make this even harder. Well, I guess the good news, if you really want to see the silver lining here, is that a lot of the enemy units are also out of ammunition. They're getting lower on ammunition. And I think, at least the siege-type units, and I think that bodes well for us, because we have a lot of guys and we also have magic. They do not have magic anymore, on account of all of the murder I did. So that's a Luminarch. That thing is still a danger for sure. But if we're going to attempt this charge, we really have to start it by killing those guys. Otherwise, my flanking force here is just going to get shot to pieces. Moving back. I was wondering why my gun teams were not firing. It's because they have been instructed to turn. This is the part where all these units of clan rats that we've been holding in reserve are going to finally start to be a bit of a factor. Also, how far out can we cast Crack's Call? Pretty far out, actually. That's pretty far out, man. Let's give them one of these. Trying to catch the rifles in it as they advance. Okay, we got that. That was what I wanted. I think that should be... Yep. That was an alright version of that thing, too. Didn't do as much damage as I would have liked. You guys stay skirmishing. Move out that way. The Doom Flayers are doing some work. You guys turn around and grab him. Harassing the siege crew is important and everything, but we gotta make sure we don't lose the Doom Flayers, because they represent a significant amount of our killing power. We're definitely going to need them as part of the battle pretty soon. Alright, Ikit himself is starting to get into firing range. Do they have a lot of characters left? They have a Huntsman General. They have the other Huntsman General that we already damaged a bunch. I'm just trying to figure out where I think the Storm Demon is going. Probably... we want to use the charges on their actual characters, right? Looks like it has considerable range. And then over here, we need to start bringing forth the melee. Bilefitch himself doesn't really have any combat skills. I don't want you to engage anyone from the front. As badass as Pestilich is, I think we really need to make sure that he is fighting from the types of positions where he is advantaged from. This is a unit of Eshin Triads. Whatever, just get forward. Get forward and we'll figure it out. And then I'm going to grab all of these dudes, put them in skirmish mode, and tell them to just make it over to here, and they'll evade enemies on their own. We'll just trust them. We'll trust them to make good decisions. I know, that sounds like a recipe for disaster. Flamethrower's up here. Alright, let's do it. Let's keep doing it. Is he actually going to fire the Storm Demon? Yes, he is. Okay, that was a considerable amount of damage. Alright, the Doom Flayers are in on the enemies that they need to be in on. Working on that. Push those guys. Can't help but notice that we're not getting a lot of fire out of our gun teams right now. Chance you could figure that out. That's the crew of a rocket battery. You can probably handle those dudes. Move our Warlock Master forward so that he can be projecting his aura. Actually, Ikit Claw should move forward as well. Like this right here, this is exactly where we want this guy to be. God, look how fast he is. Alright, somehow our melee troops are threatening to lose to those rifles. Alright, you guys need to get over here. I'm going to turn off skirmish mode. So your units don't really like to follow your orders when they're in skirmish mode. They move in pretty sketchy ways. But I think we can actually thread the needle over here. Okay, this is a situation where we are going to want to drop some Warp Lightning. So let's make sure that we can do this with some level of precision here. Ikit Claw can also Warp Lightning pretty hard. And you guys, you know what would be great for you guys to do? Finish him. We have a, oh, these are the Rattling Guns, I was going to say. We have a Rattling Gun team and 2 Jezzail teams. I'm not sure what these Jezzails are going to be able to, like, what's the proper firing angle for these guys? It's probably something like, they move out to here and then to there? Maybe? I don't know. I'm going to give them some pretty vague orders here. So we need to get around so we're shooting into the sides and backs of enemy units that are engaged with our guys, right? Pretty good. Pretty good Warp Lightning. The cavalry unit that has engaged with Ikit Claw in melee is rethinking its life. Some poor planning occurred there, and they would like us to know that they are sorry. Gotta catch some of those guys and keep them from getting away. Right, the flayers are flaying. I'm not gonna have the flayers try to engage directly with the Luminarch because I think it's too heavily armored. You know what? Let's see what happens. Right, over here, I'm gonna leave these guys on. Okay. I was going to say, until there's a permanent break there. Oh, I think we beat them. I think they're just totally giving up. We still had a fair number of tricks. Never mind, we haven't totally beaten them. Sigmar's Sons. This is a unit, a regiment of renown. These guys are unbreakable. So even though the rest of their army has completely surrendered, they will fight us to the last. Well, we can bring the last to them pretty quickly here, I think. see here. Gun teams, these guys. Nobody else is coming back, so we don't have to worry about anything else moving up on us. As we change our position, we can just run up on these guys. Let's give them the Storm Demon. Okay, that almost did something. Where's my assassin? Get my assassin over here. My Doomflayers. Get my Doomflayers over here. Everybody kill these guys. Because we can't move on with the game until they are dead. I don't really want to move any more melee in, though. I think it looks like he has maybe like one more shot. There we go. There's the huge wall of flame that will probably finish the fight. I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with the way this went. Would you guys please? Hey, you gotta admire their tenacity, huh? If not their intellect. Because some decisions here could have been made slightly better. Interestingly, a couple of them are still alive. Wait, are those my guys? Yeah, those are my guys who just survived the huge gout of flame. Oops, sorry dudes. Friendly fire. You know, it happens. Listen, if you're going to employ this many flamethrowers in a battle, there's gonna be some friendly fire. So we did lose our Doom Wheel, and that's a shame, but it is a Regiment of Renown, so it'll be available again at max rank in 10 turns. I'd be much more disappointed if we lost the unit of non-Renown Doomflayers, because it has taken us a while to build those up. Yeah, on the whole, I'm really pleased with that. So we've devoured some huge number of Empire troops over the last few turns. I wonder how much more they could possibly have left in the area. Because, like, obviously they have a lot of troops in general, but we know that they have territory up to the northeast, like right where the Chaos Army spawned in, and you have to imagine they have some guys up there, otherwise they would have lost all those settlements, right? Good to see the Norskins holding up their end of the deal. I would, of course, prefer if they would have just like burned that stuff down and left it for me to reclaim, but them taking it over and using it as a foothold is also acceptable. There's a whole bunch of Bretonnians in my territory. We need to look at that. We need to figure out what they're doing. Vashnar, what's up? A defensive alliance? You know what? Yes. Yes, absolutely. You and I can be the best of friends. So before we call it for the day, like I said, let's go have a quick look at those Bretonnians over there. Oh yes, we're killing enemies left and right. We're getting followers. We are 11 turns from Ultimate Experiments, so it will not be valuable here, but we will still research it. It'll be useful when we push east, right? We're trying to install undercities and stuff over there, and also the tax rate and the growth are both very useful for us. Ikit Claw should finish leveling up his magic. Remamute is... We're definitely sticking to magic for him as well. I know we've done kind of a similar thing with a lot of our lords, but caster lords, you know, this is just kind of like how they do. So he has a spell that blesses his army with poison damage, a spell that ruins enemy armor, enemy armor, and a spell that summons even more clan rats. We do want this. I'll just grab that. You can never have enough clan rats. Alright, you chill out for a second. We gotta figure out what we're doing with everybody else. No. Actually, no, we do not have to figure out what we're doing with everybody else. I almost fell into the trap again. No, this is where we're gonna call it. This is the end of the episode. Thank you all so much for watching. That is gonna be it for us for today. Come back next time tomorrow for an episode that, hopefully, is equally productive in terms of murdering the hell out of our enemies. And we'll see you then.